All right, welcome to Romanza, the first half. So it is very traditional for my guitar students to play this as their second semester final, and I'm going to guide you through it. First of all, you're going to notice that there are notes with stems up and notes with stems down, and sometimes these notes are stacked on top of each other. That is because this piece of music is written in two parts, but you're going to play it on one instrument. So they put the note stems in opposite directions so that you can hear the parts that are different from each other. So we're going to look at the top part, which is the melody. And so these are all the notes with stems going up. So in the first phrase, you play basically notes from semester one. Remember that notes on the spaces spell the word face, F-A-C-E, so that's why we're starting with 4 E's. And then we have a D, C, C, B, A. So this little thing sounds like this. And then we're going to climb back up. This time we're going to skip some notes and we're going to go A, C, E, and then the last three notes on that line are high A's. Don't get fooled by the 4 next to them. The 4 means that you're going to use your pinky to play it, but the A note is actually on the 5th fret. So the highest note you have to play on this is on the 5th fret. And then on the next line, you're going to start back with that again. So you have A, and then G, F, F, watch out here. We got a note here that is not too common for beginning guitar, and that's a G sharp. So by definition, a sharp means that you play the note that would be natural 1 fret higher. So since G's the 3rd fret, G sharp would be the 4th fret. And they put a number 4 there, means to play it with your pinky. So in the last measure of the second line, you have a G sharp, and then a stretch. You have to reach all the way with your first finger to F, and then an E. All right. The next line, you're going to be playing it. It's very similar to what you played a while ago. E, D, C, C, B, A, and then you have 4 B's in a row. B, 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 C, B, A. Now that A you have to hold for 2 counts. You're going to go 1, 2, A, and then the last A you have to hold for 3 counts. So the melody by itself without the bass is going to sound like this. Second line. Stretch to G sharp. Third line. One, two. 1, 2, 3, stop. And there is a repeat sign, so repeating is optional if you want to take the repeat. Now, the other voice, that is the bass line to this piece, that is going to be open strings. So you can see, as indicated in the music, I marked that for you with a 5 in a circle. That means that it's the 5th string, and then the 0 means that it's open. So you're going to notice that every 3 beats, actually, the bass note lines up with one of the melody notes, and so you have to pluck them together. So when you're ready to play the 2 parts together, you would pluck the first 2 notes right away. So I use my thumb to pluck the bass note, and then I use one of my other fingers, either I or M, to start walking with the other string. So you see how I'm plucking that bass note. Anytime that the notes are aligned vertically, then I have to pluck those notes together. The next, when it finally changes, this is going to be a measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In measure 7, the second measure of the second line, the bass note changes, and I circled it for you, and I labeled it. It's a 4th string open, also D. We had a chance to cover D this year, so hopefully you guys will remember that. Anyways, D is the open 4th string. So when you play the next 6 notes, when that open string or the bass note lines up with the other note vertically, then you're going to pluck the 4th string open like this. So this is in the second measure of the second line. And then in the next 2 measures of the second line, the bass note changes even lower. It's 3 ledger lines down and then underneath it, which is the lowest note on the guitar in standard tuning, and that's open E. So you're going to have the open E bass note with your thumb, and then you play the other notes on top. So that might be a little bit challenging right there to kind of do that stretch from the F to the G sharp. Okay, and then the next line is a repeat of stuff you did in the first line. So you have E, D, C. By the third measure, your bass note changes again to D, the 4th string open. And then you have the open E string on the 4th measure of the 3rd line. Now this is kind of tricky. So there's 3 beats in a measure. On the last measure of the 3rd line, you pluck the 2 A's together. There's an A on the 3rd string, and there's an A on the 5th string. So you're going to pluck those together because they're vertically aligned. And then you pluck the low one with your thumb on beat 2, and then you pluck the one on the 3rd string on beat 3. So it sounds like this. 2, 3. And then you pluck them both together one more time and hold for 3 counts. So here's what the ending sounds like. 1, 2, 3, pluck, 2, 3. And you can either stop there or you can repeat and do it again. So as you guys approach this song, I recommend first starting with the notes with the stems up, the melody, and work that out until you feel really confident with it, and then start adding the bass strings, the open bass strings when they vertically align with melody notes. Remember that this song has a 3 count, so you'll notice that the beat kind of emphasizes the first beat of every 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's almost like a waltz, and so try to feel it as that. And remember to alternate your index and your middle fingers when you pluck your melody notes. Hopefully this will be helpful for you guys, and good luck.